There have been a ton of videos about Fortnite dying from a lot of different Fortnite content creators, myself included. I know it might seem like the end, but today I wanted to share what we have to look forward to for the rest of Chapter 6 and pretty much the rest of the year going into Chapter 7. First, we have to talk about the Delulu LTM. Both weekends have passed, and honestly, I have seen so many great and viral clips from this mode. People seem to be having a ton of fun on it, and while this mode was available, the player count was pretty healthy on this mode. Probably one of the most successful LTMs we've had in the past few years, which is saying something. Epic was on point with the moderation, banning people who were being very toxic or using very bad words. And on top of that, Epic made some changes based on feedback so that the entire squad could win and get the umbrella. The question is, are they going to make this mode a permanent mode based off of the player feedback? Or could we expect this mode to just come on the weekend so we have something to look forward to when it's Friday? Speaking of LTMs, Epic is also working on a new mode called Play as a Villain, and we don't have a lot of information about this mode yet, but it looks like you're gonna be able to get some special boss abilities in this mode. So maybe being able to transform into a big final boss and the entire lobby either has to work together to take you out or betray each other while you take them out themselves. It's also recently shown that bosses like the Ice King could be making a comeback in this mode, so maybe you'll be able to play as the Ice King or some of the iconic bosses and villains from Fortnite's history. That does seem like a really cool idea, and I know people have been having fun with like the Megazord and Godzilla transformations, so this would be a mode dedicated to being able to transform into different villains and bosses throughout Fortnite. There's also been some leaks about the Imposter mode, which is Fortnite's take on Among Us potentially returning. I know that kind of randomly got removed a couple of years ago, but yeah, there was a Q&A recently about imposters, so maybe it'll make a comeback. Now, besides LTMs, there are also entire games that are getting ready to be ported into Fortnite, like Rocket League and Fall Guys. And I know they're not as popular as they were in their peak, but being able to hop into Rocket League or Fall Guys directly from Fortnite might bring some new players onto those games, but I'm not sure how the players of those games feel about being integrated into Fortnite. I've seen some people kind of complain about that because it kind of loses some of its identity, but if Fortnite does a decent job of the integration, it actually could funnel a lot of players into these games and give them some life. Now let's talk about the metaverse modes that Epic initially came out with in Chapter 5. Of course, we have Fortnite Festival and Rocket Racing. Both of those modes are not doing that great, to be honest, and I'm not sure about the updates around them. But I know for Lego, they have a big update to look forward to in November because Ninjago is coming in November, which is huge news. There's a lot of people that are hyped for that. We saw that Lego was showcasing Ninjago with Lego Fortnite sets in Denmark, and there was a display with a message saying, "Guess what's going on?" We haven't gotten much more information beyond that, but we probably will find out very soon. Epic's also making a lot of changes to the casual mode. Apparently there's a photo mode that's coming sometime this season. You're also gonna be able to change your character's facial expressions, character lighting and rim lighting, camera and lens effects, and it's going to have high-res image in your Fortnite folder so you can take pictures and share them on socials. There's also been a huge leak about the Disney mode that is coming to Fortnite. You guys know they announced this like over a year ago, but apparently it's going to be similar to Disney Infinity, which sounds interesting. If you aren't familiar with Disney Infinity, you could do different story missions themed after different Disney movies, or you could play more of a sandbox type mode where you create your own environment and game. It had a lot of positive reviews and people really loved it, so seeing that potentially brought into Fortnite in a unique way sounds hype. And of course, going into 2026, Fortnite is working on Ranked 2.0. Let's be real, Ranked mode is kind of dead in Fortnite unless we're talking about Reload Ranked. The Ranked Battle Royale modes and Zero Build modes are very much dead. It's very hard to find matches, and a lot of people are not playing Ranked anymore. So they have to rehaul the whole system. We know they announced this at the FNCS Globals, but we don't really know too many of the details because they didn't really give us any, but it just needs to be drastic because right now it's just not working. What is working though is Epic's communication. They have been a lot more transparent and giving us a lot more info about what's coming to Fortnite and listening to feedback. I mean, the changes they made from week 1 of Delulu to week 2 is enough to show that they're actually listening and implementing changes quick enough for players to care. Now, I'm sure by now you guys know that we're getting something of a Simpsons season in November. November seems to be the month where Epic gets to experiment for just 1 month and do something different. However, this year they also had 1 month of just the Star Wars season. So the flow of things is a little bit different this year compared to the past 2 years where we had OG Fortnite Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. A lot of people are excited about it. I'll be honest, I'm not that excited about a Simpsons season. I didn't really watch The Simpsons. I know it's huge. I know it's popular. And even if it's an IP that I'm not familiar with, if the gameplay is fun, I'm all for it. So far, there have been 5 confirmed bosses and NPCs that'll be around the map, but there's not a lot of clues about what bosses or NPCs we're going to be getting. So I'm kind of speculating a little bit here, but it could be something similar to Chapter 2 Remix, where it's Simpsons theme, but they include some fun collab or remix elements from other chapters into it. The reason I bring this up is that we've seen leaks of another Snoop Dogg collab, and he mentioned that he's getting ready to perform in Fortnite soon. So another type of concert that he's going to be involved in. But that's not all. Doja Cat herself said she has a skin coming. And the last time we saw multiple artists get a skin was during the Chapter 2 Remix season. If Epic puts as much detail into this mini season as they did with the Chapter 2 Remix, I think it will be a nice break from Chapter 6 and getting us ready as we head into Chapter 7. But we will have to see. Some people are very skeptical after the Star Wars season was, in my opinion, a flop. Let's talk about upcoming collaborations, because this Fortnitemares is probably going to be one of the most stacked Fortnitemares ever. First of all, K-pop Demon Hunters. It's one of the most popular, if not the most popular, Netflix original movie ever. Listen, I'm not a K-pop fan, but I watched this movie and it was actually a really good movie. Very well animated, and the songs were very, very catchy. I recommend you watch it because you're going to see these girls running around Fortnite very, very soon. During the Fortnitemares event, they will be skins that are purchasable. But that's not all. Leakers are saying there's going to be Doja Cat, Scooby-Doo, Repo, Ghostface, Jason, Terrifier, Poppy Playtime, Black Phone, which is from a movie that came out a couple of years ago. There's also some remixed skins, as well as all these original Fortnitemares skins that are also remixes, and some of them are new. This is a very, very stacked lineup. Some people are concerned that this might be the last Fortnitemares ever with how many different collabs they have lined up. I don't think that's the case. I think people might be overreacting, but it is very, very stacked, and these are all still leaks. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. We might not get all of these collaborations, but if we do, that would be sick. And I think we can expect companions to be coming in Chapter 7. These have been leaked for a while. These are pets that will follow you around during combat, but only you and your teammate will be able to see them, so they're not going to give your location away. We've seen some leaks of some of the pets that they're adding, and they do look cool. It's just an extra cosmetic, and I'm sure Fortnite is looking for more ways to monetize and sell you different things. Of course, it is a part of their business after all, but I do like the idea of buying pets. I think I'm all for that, as long as they are animated well and don't cause any unnecessary performance issues when you're using them. And then, of course, Epic is still working on their Thin client. They've actually rolled out a version of it on mobile where they've reduced the download size of Fortnite from 80 gigabytes down to 16 gigabytes, which is a massive, massive reduction, but there's still more room for improvement. Because right now, if you download Roblox on your phone, it's only 450 megabytes. So the Fortnite version is still 32 times larger, which is going to take a lot longer, which means it's harder for people to download Fortnite and get into Fortnite. But I think once they get the Thin client down, we're going to see a lot more people willing to try Fortnite because it's a lot quicker and a lot smoother. I showed this before on stream, but guys, it takes like literally 6 or 7 seconds to load into a Roblox game from just opening the launcher and loading into the first game you see. I'm telling you, you can get in there so fast. Fortnite takes so much longer. They need to up their speed to grow the player count. It is crucial. Now, regarding Chapter 7, we know it's going to be coming sometime in December, but we haven't had too many leaks about Chapter 7, which is kind of surprising because previous chapters have been leaked months in advance. This one seems to be like some sort of gala theme for season 1. This is based off of some of the skin surveys that we've recently got. There might be a Norse/Nordic theme dropping later in the chapter, and we might see some more concerts in Chapter 7. I'm hyped. Hopefully Fortnite makes some massive changes and they change the flow, especially of the core battle royale mode, which I think really needs some love and change to keep it alive and to give it a refresh. So with all that being said, there's still a lot to look forward to. Fortnite always goes crazy at the end of the year. I'm expecting a big November and an even bigger December as we go into Chapter 7. Let me know what you guys think. I think there's still hope for things to turn around. It can't get much worse than this, and I hope I'm not proven wrong on that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.